Hi guys, it's Littlefoot Nursery. I am here with baby Emily. She is a reborn baby doll painted by Mary Anderson, and she's a Saskia sculpt by Bonnie Brown. And I wanted to go ahead and change her into this really cute kind of sleeper. The brand is Renee Raffe Baby. I've never heard of this brand before, but I love this so much. It has this really adorable embroidered pink deer, and it's like pink and white striped. It's so cute. And you can see Emily is still wearing her Christmas outfit, so I have to change her out of this. I'm super slow changing my babies, you guys, because I have so many, and when I do these videos, I kind of rotate amongst them, and then sometimes it takes a while to cycle back around to a doll again. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and change her. I wanted to chat about what I think is a really interesting topic that was inspired by a comment one of my viewers left for me. And it was genuinely, she was asking for advice on how to handle a specific situation. So I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but basically, she was torn on what to do. There was a doll that she purchased from another collector. Okay, so it's not the original artist. And I guess this doll was extremely special to the prior collector. And she only wanted to sell the doll to another collector who would promise to cherish and keep that baby in her nursery forever. And so, this particular customer, this particular buyer, she had purchased the doll, kind of making that promise to the other collector. And I think and I understand kind of where that's coming from, right? Like, these dolls are so incredibly special. For some of us, they start to feel like our real babies because they are so lifelike, and they're incredibly precious. I mean, these are really important possessions, in our lives, right? So you kind of want somebody, and I think the heart behind that is wanting somebody who would really take good care of that baby and wouldn't abuse it, wouldn't wouldn't just kind of like sell the doll on when like it's interesting. It's interesting. There can be a little bit of that some strings attached, I guess, in making a transaction like that. So this particular buyer purchased the baby, and then she did, kind of make that promise that she would keep the doll, and then she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love this baby, and I'm totally going to keep her forever." And I think this happens sometimes if it's like a reluctant sale, like where the buyer, the original seller is like, they really wish they could keep the doll, but they really need the money. So they just want the doll to have a good home. So I think we all can identify with that sentiment. Now, so fast forward a little bit, I think this collector has had the doll for a number of years now. I believe I'd have to double check the post, but it doesn't really matter. But let's say she's had it for some time. It's not like it's 2 weeks later, and she decides she wants to sell or something like that. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so cute. Oh, she is adorable in this outfit. I cannot get over it. Oh my gosh, how pretty. Sorry. Hi, Emily. You are so pretty in this outfit. Look at her. I don't know if you guys can see her if I hold her like that. Okay, she's barely. But oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to hold her for a second. Hi, sweetheart. Oh my gosh, so cute. So, but anyway, okay, so fast forward, and the buyer basically, life happens, and, she has over time sort of lost the bond with this doll. And she would like to sell it, except she made a promise to the original owner that she would not sell the doll and she would keep it forever. Now, I think honestly, it's a little like, I understand kind of how something like this could happen, but I also think it's a little bit, not really fair to the buyer in this situation. Nobody should feel obligated to keep the doll forever. Like, we all have things in our lives that happen. Like, sometimes things come up, you need the money, or maybe you're just not bonded with the doll. So to be forced to keep something in your possession that you no longer enjoy or want is very silly to me. So I think So she's just asking, so she had reached out asking me for advice on what she should do in this situation. So what I advised her, and I would love to hear everyone else's opinions on this, I said, you know, if I were you, I would go ahead and contact the original seller and kind of explain to her the situation. Just explain to her, like, you've really appreciated having this baby in your collection for the amount of time that you've had her. You've really enjoyed it and have taken good care of her, but you now have like other dolls. So whatever the reason is, like you have other dolls that there's another doll that's like captured your heart that you're saving up for and you need the money, or maybe you're just not bonded with this doll anymore and you would like her to go to somebody who will appreciate the baby more than you will at this present moment. And maybe and then I also suggested to offer to sell the doll back to the original mommy and see if she wants kind of like a right of first refusal, and see if she would like to purchase her back, because she clearly had an attachment to this baby and maybe had some regret over selling that baby. Um, so I said that's how I would approach it, and just explain like you wanted to kind of give her the chance, but and you said, you know, that you're so sorry to not be able to keep your promise, but you know, circumstances have changed, and you really do need to be able to sell the doll on at this point. Like you either don't have the space, you know, whatever the reason is. Like frankly, you don't really need a reason. You can just want to sell a doll because you want to sell the doll. But at least just showing some sensitivity to the person who sold it to you, and also just I think out of respect for that original agreement. Um, I don't think I personally would not agree to something like that. I would just say, you know, I will promise to take really good care of this baby like I do with all of my babies, but I can't promise that this doll will stay in my nursery forever. I just can't. I just don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I told her that that would be what I would recommend. And then that way, if the original mom doesn't want to purchase her back, then you should be free to sell her to whoever you want to sell her to. So, so yeah, that was my advice. And I'm curious if any of you guys have had this happen to you, or if you have imposed this kind of condition on somebody else when you've sold the doll. And I definitely do understand from that seller's point of view why they would put that condition on. I think it's the sense of like, you just want your doll to be well taken care of, right? Like I have heard of stories where somebody had sold the doll to another buyer, and you know, look guys, we're all a little bit different in how we handle our collections. Some of us are like more display and change collectors, like myself. Like I like to just do these YouTube videos. I like to look at my babies. They're beautiful works of art, you know, from my perspective. I like to change them into different outfits, but I don't really bathe them. I don't, you know, do like a lot of rough handling. I do sometimes like to hold them, you know, if I'm watching TV or something like that, but I don't really handle them roughly. So, but and then we see this especially with silicones. You know, some collectors really like to bathe the doll and take the doll out all the time and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that, but that does result in kind of different wear and tear. And some collectors, there are a few that can be a little bit less, they're not as careful, right? So their dolls can get damaged. And I think sometimes for the original mommy to see that doll become damaged, that can be really, really hard. And I understand that. But you also have to remember, like, that doll is not in your possession anymore, and that new collector, new mommy, can do whatever they want. Like if they chose to color the doll with Sharpie marker, that's up to them, even though that like honestly makes me like cringe just to even think about that. But that really is their prerogative. It's an item that they purchase, so they do have the right to do what they would like at that point. So once it's the baby is sold, it's really out of your hands. I don't think we can impose, you know, kind of restrictions and you know, qualifiers on how the collector can enjoy that baby, or even whether that collector keeps the baby, you know, in the future. I just don't think that's fair. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the topic, and I'm gonna have Emily say goodbye to you guys. And every time I see this baby, I think, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I have her. Like she's Mary Anderson doesn't paint and sell too many babies. She doesn't do custom orders, so you just have to kind of catch when she puts one on eBay, and I think her dolls are exquisite. I just love the way she paints. So I was very, very lucky to get this Saskia. This was after I lost out on bidding on like one or two other Saskias that she had made, and And so when this one came up, I was like very determined, and I was so lucky to be able to adopt her. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to have her wave goodbye again, and we will see you guys on the next video. Have a good one. Bye.